Wayne, back in the hot seat again this afternoon. Before we start talking about Saturday's game at Accrington, we saw you back at the training ground yesterday. The players arrived back from Gillingham and had a short training session. And I think they're going to have a training session on the way up tomorrow. How's the last couple of days been?
Busy, very, very busy. Obviously with the travel back from Gillingham on Tuesday night and Wednesday for the players coming back, and then getting some training time with the players yesterday and then in today for a few other bits and bobs, including the press and the match prep ahead of travelling on Friday. It's been a busy week so far.
Been covering for a couple of days for Matt, and you've made a signing as well, Raheem Harper. Just from speaking to him yesterday, we got a sense that he's really, really enthusiastic about joining the club, and he seems like he's going to be a great addition.
Yeah, first of all, I'm not going to take any credit for the signing. I'm going to totally dedicate that to Matt and Marcus. I know they've been working hard on that for the past few weeks at least to make that one happen. So they deserve all the credit for that one. From what we know of him, from watching him play and the reference we had, he's a really bright, happy character, kind of in the same sort of ilk as what Giovanni would be. He walked in yesterday, had a smile on his face, and that's infectious. That affects the people around him. You can't help but smile at it. He spoke really well when we spoke with him about his ambitions firstly with Exeter City, but beyond that, it shows he's not come here just to settle and sit on a bench. He wants to play and he wants to progress his career, which is fantastic for a young player with his talent. He joined in the training session yesterday as well, got some training time in his legs and done very well with that. So it was good to actually see him live rather than seeing him on a screen. And again, afterwards was really energised by the training session, and then went over to you guys, and it sounds like he energised you. So that's the type of players that we have at the club. That's the type of players we want to continue to bring to the club.
Before we start talking about the game, then just a quick update on Matt's situation. He's still not back with the club. I think a lot of people may expect that the baby arrives and he comes straight back into work. I think it's important that we mention that Matt needs to take time with his family, and we'll be back very soon.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Hopefully for the weekend, but not guaranteed. As you said, this is new territory for Matt. Trying to manage a football club, a football team, and have your first baby. It's quite a challenge. And I think, knowing Matt, he'll navigate his way through it as he always does with stuff. But we as a group of staff just have to support him as a club. We support him with that sort of journey. And as and when he's ready to be back to work, I'm 100% sure it won't be for too long. He'll be back to work.
And I'm sure he's raring to go as well. Look, you mentioned Tuesday night, disappointing the last couple of games, but you said there wasn't too much wrong. And, we'll stick to our principles and keep doing what we're doing. Is that the same message that you've given to the players for Saturday?
Oh, 100%. I'd say there wasn't too much wrong on Tuesday night. We changed a lot of people around, and people will say, well, they changed a lot of people around. The reality was the game was a 0-0 draw. And then the penalties beyond that were disappointing with, that we were knocked out and subsequently not maybe getting Brentford the next round. But the message won't change to the players. That's something that myself, Dan, Marcus, Scott, Matt, we've been given the same messages since day dot with the players. So the ones that have been here for a long time, they know the messages. So whether Matt's there or not, obviously they'll miss his presence and his voice, but the messages don't change dramatically. So that's something that's good that we have that consistency to pass that on.
Pierce Sweeney picked up a knock on his ankle on Tuesday. Do you expect him to play any part on Saturday?
We're hoping Pierce will be involved. Again, obviously yesterday was a bit too soon to sort of make a call on it. So we'll assess him tomorrow as we travel. He'll travel with the squad. I'm not sure if he'll train or whether we'll do a fitness test on Saturday. Pierce has done a good job for us this season so far, and hopefully if he's fit, we can involve him in the game Saturday.
Taking a look at Accrington Stanley's form this season, they certainly seem to be the entertainers in League One. Opening day of the season, 2-2, 98th minute equaliser. League Cup against Tranmere, 2-2, 90th minute equaliser conceded. And their last home game, 4-4 against Burton, they scored twice in stoppage time to come back from 4-2. Don't switch off late against Accrington, it seems.
No, last 15 minutes, we've done our match prep. We know that they come strong in the last 15 minutes. I think, again, that's probably a character in their team where they're not scared to lose the game to try and win it, where they'll put bodies in your box and they'll play forward and run forward into it. So we're we're well aware of that. On the flip side of that, they have conceded a fair amount of goals as well. So there's opportunities to be had at the other end of the pitch. So we'll go out, we'll prep as per usual. Our team identity dynamic is what it is. We're not going to change because it's away to Accrington or we've lost a game against Cheltenham last weekend. We are what we are, so we'll bring what we usually bring.
Since their promotion to League One a few years ago, Accrington have been pretty consistent mid-table in League One. They seem to be a stable League One club now. Are they almost a side to admire at this level?
Yeah, I certainly respect what they've achieved with the resources they've got. And that's sort of, I would go as far to say admire the manager, how he sort of steadied the ship and in particular how he goes about his transfer business, how he sort of utilises the young market around the area that they live in. Albeit it is a hotbed of football around Manchester, Liverpool, those areas, Blackburn. So they do sort of utilise that really well. And also dips into the non-league market really well as well, pulls players out from the National League and that, and they do good jobs for him as well with a bit of experience that maybe dropping down. He's certainly set up a good squad and a good team there that will be a challenge for not just us, but for anyone that they play against.
Great stuff. Finally then, this will be our last League One game of the month. So it'll be the first month out the way. How would you say that first month's gone as Exeter City in League One?
I would say it's been positive. I'd say it's been very positive with regards to, one, how quickly we've found our feet, how we've managed to turn out wins and get results. I would say that it's been a good experience because we've played a different variety of teams based on teams that come up with us, like Port Vale, teams that were mid-table last year, like Cambridge, teams that were up around the playoffs last season in Wickham. And again, Accrington on Saturday being a mid-table team. So I think we've had a good experience of it, and I think we've acquitted ourselves well. I don't think there's any getting away from the fact that we need to add a few members to the squad, and Rakeem being one, but we're maybe still a couple of bodies short. And I'm sure when we do that, we can get a good foothold in this league and start to build from there.